We are back with you answering your questions about unemployment and also new jobs. We have three experts here today. Marie Amelie George from Wake Forest Law. We have Chris Rivera, Guilford Works Director, and Will Graham, the COO of Graham Personnel Services. All right, Marie Amelie, this question is for you. The question is, here it is. I filed for pandemic unemployment, and I appealed a unfavorable decision 4 months ago. Why is it taking so long?
I wish it weren't taking so long.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is a huge backlog of appeals. So because so many people have applied for unemployment benefits, there's a much longer delay in getting the initial determination. And then now we're seeing 3 to 4 months for the appeal. Keep in mind that DES will get to your appeal. But if for some reason you miss the notice, they won't reschedule the hearing. So make sure that your contact information is up to date in the system and that you're looking for their letters and their emails.
Yes, make sure that you are checking all the time. I can't even imagine, because there is nothing that can be done once you miss that meeting.
Unless there is some sort of excuse, like you had some sort of emergency that put you in the hospital. If you just happen to miss it because you didn't see the notice, you can't reschedule it.
Okay. All right. So this is for Will and Chris. This person is asking, are there part-time jobs available for senior retirees?
Yes, absolutely. There are a ton of jobs open right now for anyone of any age with any experience. You bet.
Yeah, and I'd echo that. Part-time work is part-time work. If you're interested, submit an application.
All right, this person is asking if you have been receiving unemployment benefits due to a reduction in hours at your job, do you need to show that you've been looking for work elsewhere to continue to receive the benefits? So I'm guessing that they're working very few hours at their job, and they're wondering, are they still required to look for work?
I hear that differently now. So under normal circumstances, an individual that is employed, that is collecting benefits because their hours have been reduced, would not be required to search for work because technically they're employed. However, my interpretation of the governor's order is that anyone who has been deemed eligible to collect benefits on or after the 13th of March would have to certify that upon request that they have looked for work. So I would say, to err on the side of caution, you certainly should keep record of that. But if you're okay, Candy, we'll get some clarification, and maybe you can put that in your 2 wants to know section.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this question is, do you have to claim the unemployment money that you receive on your taxes? Marie Amelie?
You do. Unemployment benefits are income and they are taxable. You can elect to have the state withhold some taxes so that you don't have to pay it on the back end, but it will be taxed. Keep in mind.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, that because of the new federal stimulus bill, there is a tax credit of for $10,200 of unemployment income if you make less than $150,000 a year for last year. So that might give some people some relief.
Yeah, that was the follow-up question. Can you re-explain what the COVID relief bill does for unemployment benefits? And that is, it waives the taxes up to $10,200. But again, that's on your 2020 tax return, and we just did a story on this, and the IRS is saying do not do an amendment right now, that they're trying to come out with a worksheet and also software so that all of that will change. And if you've already filed your taxes, they say just hang on tight. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so Will, this person is asking, is there a way for you to be able to see how much a job listing is going to pay?
So the majority of companies do not list their pay on the jobs. They're just looking for the skills of the candidate. And oftentimes it's actually a range, and the technology really isn't there to handle a range. So the majority of the time it's not listed.
So then I guess my follow-up question to that would be, does that mean, I'm wondering if some people are thinking that it throws them out if you have to put a salary range in there. Should that be a concern?
I don't think so. In most software, it's not a required field, so it's not going to keep you from moving forward. When we think of the majority of time when we're applying through a computer or through a phone, so it's going to allow you to keep moving forward.
And what do you say about that, Chris, as well? I see you kind of nodding in agreement, but I want to know, like, you know, there's some, you hear all the time that if you don't fill out certain things that the computer just like, you know, kicks you out.
Yeah, we're not seeing many online applications request salary information, and there's always the hesitancy that you don't want to price yourself out of the market, or certainly don't want to undersell yourself to say that you're willing to work for something less. We're with Will. We're not seeing a lot of employers post, but they're also not asking for salary history, so it shouldn't be a concern. I would say though, if it does request it on the application, fill it out, because you don't want to be knocked out because you've opted not to insert that information that's been requested.
Okay. Marie-Emily, this person says, is the extra unemployment income taxable income that will put me in a higher tax bracket when I file my taxes?
It is certainly taxable income. So depending on your tax bracket and your income, it might put you over the edge. You should talk to your accountant.
Mm-hmm. And that federal benefit is, again, tell me how much it is per week and how long it goes to.
So the federal benefit is an extra $300 payment to anyone receiving any kind of unemployment, and that continues through September 6th.
Okay. All right. We are going to take a quick break. We've got several questions in the queue. We want you to get your question out there. 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.